Salutations, my friends. Welcome back to the Feral Feminine. I did have a name change recently, but I feel like that's a bit more appropriate for who I am and what I do. For those of you who are new here, my name is Megan, and I enjoy all things outdoorsy and all things kind of girly. It's a weird mix, I know, but here we are. I also have my buddies helping me out. I got Mr. Gunner Bear sitting over here, and I've got Will and Edith wrestling in the back, so if you hear weird noises, that is what's going on. But today I want to talk to you about 5 regrets I have for hiking Mount Kilimanjaro. I hiked Kilimanjaro in the end of June 2023, and it is now July. I know this is a little bit late. I promise I will do better making videos, but I want to tell you what I learned in case you want to be hiking Kilimanjaro as well. Let's get started. So, number 1, the first thing I wish I knew when I was hiking, well, actually just traveling to Tanzania, and that is cash is king. Like, I knew that I was going to be buying things. I figured that things were going to be more of a cash system, but I couldn't find much information on the internet on how much to bring with me, what currency I needed to use, and all that jazz. So, US dollars, that is, just ignore them. US dollar is the way to go, and you know, I brought about $700 cash with me. But I messed up. I brought all big bills. Like, I think I did like 20s and 50s because I just really didn't know what to expect. But I really underestimated the impact of the US dollar in Tanzania, and I wish I had brought substantially more 1s, 5s, and that would have been perfectly sufficient for everything I needed. Like, I think at the end of the hike, there was a shoe cleaning place and they wanted $12. I had $20, so they got a nice tip out of that, but you know, just remember to keep smaller bills, bring the bigger bills to tip your porters, but yeah, small bills in US dollar is totally fine. Also, $700 for my 8-day Lemosha trip plus 2 days before and 2 days after. Perfect, that was really all I needed. I came back with about $20 cash through the airport, which might be cutting it a little bit close for other people, but for me, it was just fine. All right, number 2, and this one I feel really silly about because I should know better. Like, we all read this, don't use technology for the first time or equipment for the first time before you have a big trip. Like this guy. This is my Garmin InReach Mini, and I bought it explicitly for this trip. I paid for the subscription, the membership, whatever you want to call it, which I actually need to cancel, by the way, because I signed up for the month-by-month thing. Different story for a different time. But I thought I knew how to use this. I had downloaded the app. I sent the app link to my buddies and my family members so they could talk to me on this adventure. But when I actually got on the trail, I turned it on, I was going to use it, and I got the notification that I had, 1, the wrong app on my phone to work with this thing, and 2, I needed to do a software update on this guy. So I was SOL. I couldn't really talk to any friends or family on my cell phone. I have Verizon right now, and I occasionally got a little bit of service, and my gal pal Carissa would let me use her smarter version of this with the big InReach, not the InReach Mini, and she let me reach out to Mike, who then just talked to everyone, and it just worked out okay. But I felt like such a burden having to use someone else's tool when I just should have goofed around with this a little bit more before leaving and not purchased it a couple days before flying to Tanzania. Shame on me, I should know better. The second half of this is actually trekking poles. I never used trekking poles before. I figured, yes, I'm young, I'm in shape, I don't need those. Oh my goodness, you will be using your trekking poles on a mountain, using them going up the hill, going down the hill, and you know, just a little bit of stability while walking when you get tired. It makes a huge difference. So if you have never used trekking poles before, do yourself a favor, go out, order some, buy some, borrow some, whatever, and learn how to use them. Don't be like me and learn how to use them when you're trying to hike up a mountain. You will slip, you will fall, ask me how I know. Just figure it out. And for the third half, because that makes sense, on the know how to use your equipment part, I goofed up. I did. This is one that I'm really embarrassed about. I was waterproofing my boots, and I thought, oh yes, we're going to be crossing some streams here there, which you do. So I waterproofed the underside of my boots, and when it's monsoon season, when you are walking in mud, you are going to fall, which I did there as well. You're going to slip, you're going to fall, you're going to hurt yourself, which I also did. So please, laugh at me all you want, just don't waterproof the underside of your boots. Waterproof the top side and the side sides. Just don't waterproof the underside of your boots. Silly, I know, rookie mistake, but it happens. Number 3 on the things that I wish I had known and have regrets about for hiking Mount Kilimanjaro. And that is not being a better medical advocate for myself. Like, before I left, I had to fight so hard to figure out what vaccinations I needed, and really all I needed was yellow fever. That's all that the U.S. Department of Health is recommending at this time of June 2023. I got it, things may change, but I really struggled trying to figure out where I could get this vaccine and if my insurance was going to cover it. They did not, which is fine. I also really struggled trying to get malaria medicine. When I called my doctor's office, the lady who answered the phone, and bless her heart, I got it, I'm in El Paso, Texas, we don't really deal with malaria. She asked what malaria was. And that gave me some panic eyebrows, but I ended up figuring it out. I talked to my doctor eventually, got my medicine. I was on like 28 days worth, which is fine. You start taking it about 3 days before you leave. Take it the entire time, and then another week once you get home. No issues, malaria free. That's a great thing. I also struggled getting high altitude medicine. I was given a generic, pups are coming in, for Zofran. And Zofran's actually, it's an anti-nausea, it's an anti-stomach ache kind of like peptide string. Okay, anti-diarrheal, anti-thrower upper, but it's not the same as Diamoxin, which I always want to call Dramamine. It's not Dramamine, it's Diamoxin. And I had to go to Tanzania before I was able to actually get Diamoxin, and it's just crazy to me that it was so hard for me to get this. Another one that's kind of difficult for me to talk about, I don't really like talking about it, is I forgot my antidepressants at home. And those of you who know, you need them. So it was a little bit of my own extra struggle on top of climbing a very difficult mountain for a week, just having that extra battle. So when you're packing your goods, make sure you dot your I's, cross your T's, and don't forget the stuff you take every day. On top of that, I have just like chronic perennial tendinitis, which I think is actually tendinosis, but that is on the tendon in my right foot, right behind like my second metatarsal. It just hurts all the time, and doing some things like extensive walking, running, jumping, climbing, it can aggravate things. And I thought to myself, oh man, this hasn't hurt for a while. I'm fine. I don't need to bring my ankle brace. I was wrong. I needed my ankle brace. But you know what? Live, learn. I had a wrap. I was able to figure it out. It's okay. But on that note, I also wish I had brought a knee brace. Like, I've never had knee issues before. I know that I'm getting older, not in my 20s anymore, and sometimes things began to hurt that never hurt before. And I learned that on Kilimanjaro. Goodness, with all the downhills and how steep that grade is, bring a knee brace. You'll thank me later. Okay, number 4, toilet paper. Yes, my tour company provided a nice, it's actually a really impressive little portable toilet that Toilet Man would carry up and down the mountain for us. He'd clean it, dump waste out. I don't know what he did with that. I didn't ask, not my problem. That's really a bad attitude, I know. But you're only at camp for so many hours in the day, and when you're hiking and you're drinking about 5 liters of water and you're taking high altitude meds, you're gonna have to go. And I don't mind going outside. Actually, I find it quite liberating. I don't mind taking care of business outside, but There's a difference between having biodegradable toilet paper and just airing things out. If you know, you know. And that is something that I wish I had brought. Silly, silly girl, I know. And number 5. This one's going to probably resonate a bit more with my female audience, but I regret not letting myself be more of a girly girl, which, hear me out, I got it. I'm climbing a mountain. I'm not going to do a full face of makeup. I'm not going to wash and blow out my hair every day. But there are certain things I could have done in advance to make me feel a bit more feminine. Note that I'm wearing my sparkly swatch while saying this, and I do have a full face on now. But there's things that you can do, like getting a manicure before so you don't see how dirty your nails get. Bringing your favorite tinted moisturizer if that's something that you wear. For me, I wish that, I know this sounds silly, but I wish I got a little bit of Botox before going in, because now that I look at my photos, I just see all those fine lines, and vain Megan, that kind of drives me nuts. And no, I'm not saying you need to get Botox if that's not for you, but do what makes you happy. And if being a girl is something that resonates with you, wear the feminine colors. Just do that. Do what makes you happy. Yeah, enough about that. So that, my friends, is my list of 5 things that I wish I had known, done, regrets for Kilimanjaro. I don't know if any of this surprises you. I don't know if you have climbed and if you have any regrets, or if you too have wished that you've had toilet paper before when you didn't. But I would love to know. Feel free to like and subscribe to my videos, and I will be sharing a bunch more of my Kilimanjaro adventure, and I look forward to seeing you in those videos. So long.